Hi everyone. With this video, I'm trying to correspond to a challenge made by a friend of mine. And indeed, as it is said sometimes, challenge accepted. I'm here for that. What is the challenge? Well, we are living in a very strange moment in a very strange world. We see the destruction of moral references everywhere, family references, references about how to be, who we are, how to walk around, what is good or bad, and so on. We see a chaotic world, a polluted world with mental pollution and ground pollution and atmosphere pollution and ocean pollution and polluted food. We see a world where people are trying to convince us that we should eat bugs. We see a world where people are trying to convince us to just obey and to accept and believe that governments or corporations are working towards our best interest. And of course, they are not. They are, in a way, psychopathic. Big corporations are showing they are not able to stop polluting, invading, destroying cultures, asserting their strange values, behaving like cancers. This is, of course, not good. We see a world where lie is more and more used, mass manipulation, media manipulation, entertainment industry manipulation, to drive people like cattle instead of dignified human beings towards something that is obviously sort of planned for. And many of us, we get worried, we get disturbed, even desperate, because lots of us, we love each other and we love ourselves and we love humanity and we love nature. And of course, it's hard to see a world close to destruction in several possible different scenarios, a world where nature is being aggressed and destroyed, and a society that seems to be marching towards a possible collective doom. So, how can we keep our peace of mind? How can we stay mentally healthy, constructive? How can we have still a dignified life, eventually feeling a deep happiness? Well, there are a few secrets, to me at least. One of them is that we must refuse to reduce ourselves to being animals. I know the materialistic society is all the time trying to convince us that we are just intelligent animals, that our body and our brain are all we are. And we must desperately try to protect our brain and our body. Perhaps we are not just like this, we are not just animals. And perhaps this fear propaganda we see everywhere, this systematic collection and presentation of bad news to all of us, perhaps that is also fake. But lots of us get scared. And as we get scared, and as long as we still believe that we are mostly this present body and kind of mind we are sort of trained to believe we have, lots of us, we get scared, so we shrink. And we shrink into being animals striving for survival. We shrink into believing we are just this little temporary body and we want to live and protect ourselves. So we become short minded, egotistic, easily influenced from our emotions. And indeed, lots of the powers that are established politically and economically, to me, they are treating us more and more like numbers and like cattle. They send us where they want us to go. They show us what they want us to see. They tell us what they want us to listen to. They lie, and that's not important because lie is also an instrument of power. Truth isn't, but lie is. And lots of us, we get in trouble. So what can we do? First thing, of course, I believe is going above being just animals, finding who we really are deep inside, viewing ourselves as being essentially beings of consciousness and life. It's essential that we understand that we are humans, not animals. Consciousness is fundamental for that. And I think we should find more about who we are and the values that are worthwhile living for and eventually dying for. Perhaps things like truth, justice, fairness, balance, even democracy, because what we have nowadays is a travesty of democracy. It's fake democracy. It's mostly manipulation of the masses, using the media, using advertising, using propaganda of all sorts, using something that people call science that is no longer science because it has been sold out to major economical powers. It's manipulation through pseudoscience. So we must go above that. Justice, fraternity, freedom, democracy, real democracy. Those are nice values. Perhaps spirituality, perhaps indeed fighting for our planet, fighting for humanity, fighting for nature. We need to find our big values worth living for that give us sense in our lives. And we must notice that what unites humans, what is common to us all, because we are all alive, we are all conscious, we are all trying to find a sense, we are all striving to have a life worth living. As some say, we are all trying to be happy. And that kind of thing unites us all. Tribal differences are not that important. The most important thing is that we are all humans sharing spaceship Earth, like Buckminster Fuller said once. And then it's fundamental that we find peace. And peace is very hard to find in a world full of war unless we find it inside. We learn to dive inside. We learn to find a moment of peace. We suspend worrying about the future, worrying about the past. We suspend resentment and revenge. We suspend anxiety. We stay here, present time, now, for some time. We dive deep. We find more of ourselves. We find some peace. We find a moment of suspension. In that moment, eventually, what remains is consciousness, life, and love. That helps, because as we dive deeper inside, we are able to resonate with nature, humanity, planet Earth, even beyond all that. This helps a lot. This helps us find something really different. That's one possible way towards a solution for us to stay happy. Because as we stop, we find inner peace, we find deep love for all human and all living beings. We have a point of communication, of relationship to the whole world that feels healthy, that feels happy, that feels just nice. This is the main idea for now. As usual, I invite you to comment, share, subscribe to the channel, that kind of thing. I'll be back.